combine them together and sort of get more and more elaborate, but you start with these basic shapes, kind of like letters, right? And you really can make a bunch of different kinds of flourishes with them. So the first fundamental shape we're going to start with is an S curve. And I'm just going to make a really shallow one to start with. An S curve just means it's kind of an S shape, right? If you turn it, you can kind of see it has that S kind of curve. It also means that it's a continuously curved line. So every bit of it is curved, every single part, even if slightly, right? So there's no straight, perfectly straight lines. There's no harsh angles. There's no like sudden changes in direction. There's no like lumps and bumps. It's really like a smooth flowing curve. And you can just kind of add more and more to the ends of it, right? So these have a little bit more curled ends, and then even more curled ends, right? But that, once you get this shape down, will be the basis of a lot of flourishes. And then let's go just the other way. So let's start with that down and go to up. And again, you see it's flowing, smooth change in direction. We're gonna add again a little bit more of a curve on each end. Same basic shape, same basic way to create it. And then adding even more of a curve on the end. All right, so that's a really good basic to start with. I mean, that already looks nice, right? Just on its own to like cross a T or something. So here are some examples of what you shouldn't do. I know these look kind of like obvious and exaggerated, but just to illustrate, right? A straight line sort of right in the middle of it doesn't really go with that S-curve feeling. This one kind of has a weird straight part here that doesn't flow with the curve. There's some squariness here instead of a smooth flowing curve. This kind of just changes direction a lot, so it shouldn't be like humps or lumps, right? And then, of course, you don't want these sharp angles or like really bumpy parts. You want to kind of aim for smooth. And you'll notice as I'm going sideways, I'm actually using no pressure on my nib. It's like hairline pressure. I think it's easiest for beginning flourishing to just stick with a very light touch and keep it to hairlines. You can try adding swells and thicknesses later, but for me personally, my style, I like to keep it thin and simple. All right, so the second shape we're gonna focus on, the basic shape, is ovals. So not circles, ovals. And these, like the S curve, you want them to be smooth and flowing, and you wanna keep them pretty large. Right, so this is based on an oval shape, and I'm going to start with just one simple curl, and then you can build. So I'm going to add, so this is that one curl, but I'm going to add, another curl, right? And that you can kind of see could be the beginning of a nice flourish into a word. And then I'm going to add even more, and that is an even more elaborate flourish, but all based on this same sort of oval shape. This oval here, you see I've sort of changed direction. It's kind of going sideways, but it's still, you can see an oval shape in there. And this I just like to change up. I don't like having 3 ovals, just 3 concentric ovals like right next to each other. It kind of starts to look like a spiral or a slinky. So this is why I change it up in this way. So let's try it and see maybe if you were like coming out of a word. One simple oval. So that simple oval again, and then just keep going around. All right, so that's a nice flourish shape. Or if you're gonna add even more to it, all right, just like with this, right? You kind of go sideways instead, but it's still based on ovals. And you'll see that I'm keeping the pressure pretty light. I'm going pretty slow, and I'm using all finger and wrist movement, right? It's all this, and I'm keeping it sort of steady pressure. So let me just demonstrate some more ovals. This is more if you want to go like, right, horizontal instead of vertical. But same idea, you can just still build on it, right? So that was that same oval, but I just added another loop. You can go this way, and then add another loop, or okay, add another loop in. So the key here is I'm keeping a pretty consistent type of shape, right? It's sort of a flattened sideways oval, and I'm kind of building them on each other. So again, some things you don't want to do is ovals to me just look more elegant in flourishes than straight like perfect circle shapes. So this kind of spiraling, this again is that slinky kind of thing that I was talking about. This to me looks a little awkward. If you curl a little too tightly, then I think it just kind of leads to a cramped look, like you weren't quite confident with it. So do try to open up, keep oval shapes, keep it flowing, keep it smooth. And this does take a lot of muscle memory and practice. So just kind of keep practicing these shapes, and they will start coming, to you more smoothly. So now that we have looked at some basic building blocks of flourishes, we can start to combine them together into more elaborate flourishes, S-curves and ovals. So, and then we can also start thinking about where we might place these flourishes, like start to think about where is this going to go, where is the flourish leading into. So if we're talking about entering into a word, we could use